My name is Jason. I am 34 years old. I lived in a small house with two women. One was my sister, Riley. The other was my wife, Jessica. This is a story about love. It is also a story about a terrible choice. My parents died a long time ago. I was just a boy. My sister Riley was older. She raised me. She was not just my sister. She was my mother and my father, too. She gave me everything, even the childhood I had lost. She worked 2 jobs. She made sure I had food and clothes. She gave me her whole life. I remember one time I was sick. Riley stayed home from her job. She made me warm soup. She read stories to me all day. She was my rock. Our small house was full of her love. Her love was simple, pure, and endless. It was our safe and happy home. Then I met Jessica. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Her beauty struck me like lightning. In that moment, my life began to change. She had a smile like the sun. Her voice was like music. I fell in love with her very fast. It was a strong, deep love that filled my whole world. A year later, we got married. Jessica moved into our house. Our small family of 2 became a family of 3. At first, I was so happy. My life was perfect. I had my sister and I had my wife. I was a very lucky man, or so I thought. But my perfect life was about to break into pieces. Soon, small problems started. Jessica was not happy. She started to complain about Riley. She only complained in private. We were alone in our room. She said, "Riley looks at me in a strange way. I do not think she likes me." I said, "That is not true, my love. Riley is just a quiet person. She is happy for us." Jessica was not convinced. The small problems became bigger problems. One day, Jessica lost her favorite scarf. She looked everywhere. Then she came to me. She said, "I think Riley took it. She does not like it when I have nice things." Later, Jessica found the scarf in her own drawer. She said, "Oh, silly me." But the damage was done. She planted a seed of doubt in my mind. My wife gave me a choice. She said, "It is me or your sister." The house was not a happy place anymore. It was a house of silence and tension. I was in the middle of a silent war. I loved my sister. She was my family. I loved my wife. She was my future. I felt a terrible pain in my heart. Jessica cried a lot. Her beautiful eyes were always full of tears. She made me feel like I was a bad husband. She made me feel like I had to protect her from my own sister. One night she gave me the final choice. She was crying in our bed. She said, "I cannot live like this anymore, Jason. I feel like a stranger in my own home. She hates me, and you do nothing to stop her." I said, "What can I do? This is her home, too. She raised me here." Jessica's voice became cold. She said, "You must choose. You must choose me. If you truly love me, you will prove it. You will ask your sister to leave." The words hit me like a stone. Ask Riley to leave? Ask the woman who gave me everything to leave her own home? It was an impossible, cruel thought. But Jessica was very good with her words. She held my face in her soft hands. She looked into my eyes. She said, "This is not her home anymore. It is our home now. We can be so happy here, Jason. Just you and me. Please, choose me." I looked at her beautiful, crying face. My love for her was like a sickness. It made me blind. It made me weak. That night, I could not sleep. I looked at Jessica. She was sleeping peacefully. But my heart was at war. I felt trapped between blood and love. Every choice would destroy a part of me. I felt like a traitor to my sister. I felt like a monster. But with a broken heart, I said yes to my wife. I promised her. I would ask my sister to leave. That promise felt like a knife in my soul. I knew nothing would ever be the same again. The next day was the worst day of my life. My feet felt very heavy. Every step to her room was hard. I had to do a terrible thing. I had to break my sister's heart. I felt sick to my stomach. I waited all day. I could not find the right moment. Finally, in the evening, I went to Riley's room. I knocked on her door. My hand was shaking. She said, "Come in." I walked into her small, clean room. She was sitting on her bed. She was holding a small, old wooden box. She looked at me. Her eyes were not angry. They were just very, very sad. I opened my mouth to speak, but before I could say a word, she spoke first. Her voice was quiet and soft. She said, "It's okay, Jason. You don't have to say it." "I know." I was shocked. I whispered, "You know." She nodded. She said, "I hear things. I see how she looks at you. I see how sad you are. I have a small bag packed." Her words cut me deeper than a knife. She was ready to leave without even being asked. My heart broke into a million pieces. She was not fighting. She was not angry. She was just accepting her fate for me. Then she did something that changed everything. She opened the small wooden box. Inside there was a simple silver necklace. It was our mother's necklace. She took it out of the box. She held it out to me. She said, "Our mother wanted you to have this. I was just keeping it safe for you. Your happiness is the most important thing to me, Jason. It is all I have ever wanted." I looked at the necklace in her hand. Then I looked at her face. I saw her love. It was a true love, a selfless love, a love that asked for nothing. It only wanted to give. That necklace carried not just metal, but memory, sacrifice, and love. In that moment, the sickness of my love for Jessica was gone. I could see clearly. For the first time, I saw Jessica's love. It was a selfish love. It was a love that took. It was a love that demanded proof. And I saw Riley's love. It was a pure love. It was the love of a real family. I was a fool. I chose a beautiful lie over a true love. I made my choice. But it was not the choice Jessica wanted. Tears ran down my face. I shook my head. I said, "No, Riley. You are not leaving. This is your home. It will always be your home." At last, my voice spoke the truth my heart had always known. I left her room. I walked down the hall to my own room. Jessica was there. She was smiling. She thought she had won. I looked at her. I did not see a beautiful woman. I saw a cruel, selfish person. My voice was calm and strong. I said, "You asked me to choose, and I have chosen." I said, "I choose my sister, the woman who raised me, the woman who loves me for real. You can pack your bags now, Jessica. You can leave." The smile left her face. She was shocked, but I did not care anymore. I was free. I went back to Riley's room. I looked at my sister. I said, "Can you forgive me?" She hugged me tightly. She said, "There is nothing to forgive, Jason. We are family. I lost a beautiful lie, and I found a true love. I lost a wife, but I kept my soul. And in that small house, I found peace again. I stayed in that small house. I stayed with my sister, my real family." I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting stories. Take care, everyone.